Oh, I'm playing BioShock. Hey guys, what is up? Zero here, and welcome to Dreams of Literature Noir. Fancy. It's been so long since I played a DDLC mod that now we've gone back in time. We are now we've now gone back to the olden days of film.
Is that what happens? Is that what happens when too much time passes? We just go backwards?
We just go back in time. It's just how life works. It's just we just go back in time. But yeah,
the cycle will repeat eventually.
yeah, so I wanted to play like a little mini mod to kind of put on the channel. I think I heard this one was decently short. And I think the synopsis was like, this was like Sayori's dream or something. Sayori's like dreaming about this. So you get to see. So far I'm liking this little menu here. Little old-timey menu.
Can't believe we're about to play Cuphead.
About to play Cuphead, bro. And his pal Mugman.
Yeah.
My mind, an endless cascade of darkness, and yet somehow I thought I'd find solace in my dreams. Sadly, my solace was some weird old-timey world. Was it like a fucking typewriter? Ow. It's attacking me. Alright, so who am I playing as? If this is Sayori's dream, then this should be Sayori's point of view then, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just use this. We'll see if it's all proven wrong.
I felt fortunate, really. Not many women had the privilege to work, and even less so in the law enforcement field. Assistant investigator. That's the title I'd like to be addressed as, although not many, if any, called me that. But I won't let that bring me down. To me, it was enough to be Miss Monica's right-hand gal.
There you go, this is Sayori.
Sure, I was mainly there to type down the reports on her jobs. And oh boy, I sure like typing them up. But hopefully, I might eventually follow her steps into the action and learn the ropes.
Oh, so it's like a dream, kind of like showing it's her dream. She's like, it's like how she's vice president. It's like she's the right hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Almost done. And... done.
Oh, there she is. Aw, she's cute.
Another report perfectly crafted to describe a multiple homicide.
Oh my god.
What would be of us without the twisted criminals? Am I right, miss? I tried to lighten the mood a little bit and have a chat with Miss Monica. Not that it was tense. Heck, we even had the turntable playing some tunes from time to time. But it didn't hurt to try to be on her good side.
Oh, look at her.
It's cute.
Oh my gosh.
Fun.
Miss Monica.
Oh, they blink and everything, and they're animate. This is so high quality.
Well, that's what I said with the visual. That's what I said. Sayori was drawn. It's like the weird like old timey, like
they had to redraw like the sprites like 3 times to get this frame animation.
I think it was probably like 3 to 4 times maybe, or maybe it was like it's like some sort of filter though with like Rempy though. Who knows?
I don't know, but maybe.
I don't know the exact. I know how the blinking works, but that's the only thing I know how it works.
I'm assuming usually when you see like animation like this, it's that they redrew the frame multiple times and then layered it over.
Indeed, Sayori. And even though which crime scenes are a little cleaner for a change, bloodstains are always a bitch to get rid of. Foul-mouthed as always, but dare I try to correct her manners? Maybe I was just too naive thinking on manners when I haven't seen the harsh reality of this profession. But could you blame me? My only experience with crime scenes and cases are from the description she'd give me. I'd never seen a real corpse. Perhaps I need to see some of that stuff, but I've had my fill of gruesome texts. Ah, I wonder what a crime scene looks like, with cops running around and all. Is it like in Borges's books? Drama, mystery, action? Oh, Sayori, you read too much fiction. You should really stop trying to escape reality with fairy tales. Well, reality isn't very kind to us, wouldn't you say, miss? Look, the job really isn't all that fantastic and thrilling. Most of the time, we're investigating some old man who smuggled in a bit too much spirit or some blind pig in the heart of the city. I know, but I bet it's better than staying at the office typing reports. Well, perhaps. She was right, though. I did have a knack for reading fiction, although I wouldn't call them fairy tales. I really liked the idea that there were good and bad guys, and that the good guys can solve impossible mysteries using only their wits and obscure clues, shutting down any hope for the dastardly villain. Oh, how many times have I written to Zero about this since I got the job. We would always sneak out to the library, rummaging through the shelves of fiction in the corner of the expansive halls. When I got hired by Miss Monica, we would chuckle about how I seemed to be living out all those cop capers we would read. He'd always say that I'd outgrow him one day, become a big shot private investigator, and leave him in the dust. He had a very peculiar idea about himself. Said he wasn't going to amount to much, and he liked it that way. Eventually, I convinced him that I would never outgrow him, and we promised to always write to each other and stay in contact. Which reminds me, this lore dump is over.
I was like, God damn, Sayori, I get it!
Wow.
Miss Monica? Yes? Did I get any correspondence by any chance? I've been waiting to get some responses to my letters. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to check back because... Would you look at that? It seems that a new case beckons. Picking up the blower, she rested her law drills to her crowded desk as if it was some social call. Always so relaxed in the face of these horrible crimes. Like a man being thrown in the river is just another Tuesday for her. So confident and assertive that she's gained the respect of all the bulls she met. A looker like her, she makes the men around her swoon, yet not dare to make a move. All right, rookie. I think you can come with me. I think you can come with me this time. It's a simple case. Huh? That caught me by surprise. Sure, I was wondering when I'd get to see some action, but all of a sudden, I did my best to keep my excitement at bay. Heck yeah! I mean, yes, sir, lady, woman.
She did her best. She didn't mean she passed.
Ma'am! I meant ma'am! I failed. I'm glad you show me your excitement, lass. But hurry up. We have no time to waste. The longer we take, the less we make. Aren't we paid by the hour? We're paid by every solve, so we better solve this quickly. Mouths to feed and all that. Right. Lightning fast, she grabbed her Barcelino and made her way out, barely giving me time to keep up. City at night is another character. You expect to be rather calm and relaxing. When you look at the lonely fate lights illuminating the darkest alleys, your mind begins to race. I always stuck to the avenues and busy streets, but I can't deny I've also had a fascination with wanting to know what lurks behind the facade. What mysteries could it be hiding? What darkness lurks in the loneliest corners? Now I found my opportunity to see just that. So, what's the case, boss? Well, nothing particularly interesting. Something up the slums, near the industrial district. Apparently, a body washed ashore on the riverbank. So the police wouldn't want to bother with a poor sod's finale. Do we have any clues on what happened? Clues? No, we're just going to take a look and write down notes when we see. Basic survey, nothing more. You think this might be a murder? Please. Her chuckle echoed through the barren streets. What? A body washing up by the shore? Seems like a murder to me. And that's why you're the rookie here, little lass. We're the same age. Couldn't exactly agree with her train of thought. But then again, it was my eagerness to find something thrilling in the case. And well, we haven't even arrived at the scene. Swaying through the industrial block's buildings, we found our way to the river. The bridge was wearing a spectacle of lights, illuminated by what seemed to be deteriorating streetlights. The full moon reflected on the body of water, its light shimmering across the ripples. Speaking of bodies... There! I see the floater bobbing just ahead! Thank God, we didn't have to get wet trying to find the sack of meat. Go ahead, take your fill. Report back to me with what you see. Seriously? May I? Yeah, knock yourself out. As she told me so, she pulled out a gasper, moving it up at her lips and lighting it. As she saw me standing around waiting to be dismissed, she waved at me to go, almost like swatting away a fly. Without wasting any time, I jumped over the railing onto the river's bank. I approached the swollen body. A small girl, very petite. Or anyone else, I would have almost mistaken her for a child.
Sayori, I'm pretty sure that's you.
Oh,
Pretty sure that's Sayori.
that looks like Natsuki. What?
Is it? I thought that's Sayori. Oh wait,
No,
her
look at
hair.
her hair.
The front hair. Did you ever notice the front bang? Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw little weird cat ears they always have. So I was like, who is? I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that is Natsuki.
He just has her picked up. Damn, what happened to her?
Natsuki got fucked. Oh look, her neck's broken.
Oh, okay.
She was dressed in tattered rags, her body frail and stringy. I was used to the look of the people in the slums, but her appearance definitely gave away the fact that she's from around the area. It had no odor to it, thankfully. She must have been relatively new then. Before I could roll her on her back, I noticed the arms were twisted around, bones shattered. The neck was limp and the face battered. It wasn't really all that bloated, so maybe it hadn't been floating for long. I'm pretty sure this was a violent attack, miss. Maybe the attacker went too far and killed her, wanted to get rid of the evidence and panicked. Just threw it in the river thinking no one would find it. Yeah, that's not very convincing. She told me as she lit another cig. After a long puff and a blow of smoke, she came back at me. Smoke? She asked while holding up the packet of cigarettes to my face as I was kneeling down by the body. Not one for those coffin nails. Suit yourself. Look, Sayori, what I see here is a suicide victim. See the bridge? It's not uncommon to see folks jumping off of it. Well, but what about the bruises and broken bones it has all over? Simple. It's been floating for a while now. Honestly, I'd be surprised if it didn't have any damage. The lack of odor shows that she's been recently offed. It's been in the water, bloating. Odor does not build up, but in the insides. Furthermore, bruises prove nothing anyway. Look a little closer. You'll see a faint yellowish discoloration. That, Dolly, indicates the bruising happened long before. Oh, I see. It made sense, but there was a little detail in the logic that kept poking at my mind. Old bruises? That many? But wouldn't that indicate it wasn't the first time she got attacked? Ugh, listen. That actually means you've got your suicide motive. She got hit by some bird, whether it be a family member or other such things. Hated her life, jumped off a bridge. Congratulations, case closed. But then it means their case closed. Let's go back to the office and write the report. Are you sure? And how many cases are this simple, so don't look a gift horse in the mouth, all right, lassie? Just settle in and get whatever dough we can get. All right. Come on, chop chop.
Oh, jeez, why is this Monica such an ass?
It's okay. It's Dream Monica. It makes sense.
See, that's what I was gonna say though. I was gonna say, well, it's Dream Monica, so it might make sense. But I was like, but Sayori didn't dislike Monica.
I don't think that really matters. It doesn't really matter if you dislike someone.
I feel like it does though, because that's how you would see them. That's how you would view them in your. That's how you would probably view them in your dreams. That's always the type of thing people use for like interpretations of people.
I think it's just like, cause like they're like different people, I guess. Like they're just like their appearances and names are just like stand-ins for like different characters. Because
But if you're going to have the dream be a representation of how it works at the literature club, why are you going to make it that Monica's like an asshole to her? Like that's a change. Because that's the thing. This is obviously supposed to be like a representation of how it is at the club for Sayori. Sayori's the vice president while Monica is the club president. Sayori's the right-hand girl. So it's like Sayori wants to feel more important, but Monica is the president. So it's like, so I'm assuming it's supposed to represent Sayori feeling a little like, you know, like lesser.
I'm assuming, yeah, it's like, I'm assuming that Monica is a dick to her in this because maybe she thinks that like she just isn't good enough or like does everything wrong and like that Monica secretly hates her or something like that.
You think this maybe could be Sayori's resentment for herself as being represented by Monica? I don't know. Maybe? I don't know.
Like she might think that like Monica like secretly doesn't like her or something and just isn't saying anything.
Maybe she thinks this is how Monica should treat her.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I'm like, but then that just feels like it's something weird. Because like I said, it's like usually when people have these types of things, they usually will like It's like, this is how they, like, usually your dreams will be how you truly view someone to a degree. Or at least that's how dreams are always kind of visualized in media, is that they always would visualize them in a sense of, this is how this character views this person. Obviously, real life dreams can physically have no sense to them at all. But
Yeah.
like,
I just thought that's what this was. It just really had no sense to it, so there was no point in
well, no, I
deconstructing
think it definitely does, because like I feel like there's definitely a reasoning behind this. I feel like if this was just a silly little thing, then there'd be more silly little stuff. There has to be a reasoning as to why they say this is Sayori's dream, but I'll continue to play on and see if maybe I'll get some more answers.
She took the lead and I followed. As expected with my assistant position, but still, I wasn't pleased that everything went down. My every suggestion was shut down because she knew better. Wouldn't call it anger, but a heavy disappointment is what I felt. Even with how we handled the body. Say, miss, what's going to happen with the body now? Huh? Oh! Well, technically, that's the police's work. This was a very low priority case, as you saw. They just don't bother a lot with the poor. That's just wrong. Justice is for everyone. Alright, lassie, don't go around puking out what you read from some novel. In the end, it's money that makes the world go round. A detective from a precinct would never come here for this kind of case. It's simply not worth their time. So they're just going to let it rot at the river's bank? I can't deny that's a possibility. But I don't like to think I drink that same water. I laughed when we realized she's able to shrug off any guilt she may have. Perhaps someday I'll be able to be as mentally strong. On the bright side, I did see my first corpse and barely reacted to that fact. Seems all that literary research wasn't a waste after all. Alright, Sayori, I know you may still be excited, but I think I'm going to leave the report to you. It's been a long night, so maybe you would want to leave it for tomorrow. Are you not coming in, miss? Nah, I'm done for tonight. We'll meet tomorrow evening. Sure thing. With a slight wave, she walked away to her apartment, leaving me at the office's door.
See, she's not like fully like an asshole, but like, I don't know. There's some things that rub me the wrong way, but
Yeah.
like there's some Monica-esque things in there. Like, oh, ooh, a little TV static. Ooh. There's some Monica-esque things in there, like the like being mentally strong, like being able to just kind of like shrug something off like that. Like, there's some Monica, there's some Monica-isms, I guess we could say, or something. Like, there's some regular Monica characterization there. Or of course, you could tell she does care about Sayori. Just as Sayori says, she knows best. So maybe you could say her being a little bit like you were trying to say, her being a little bit more like negative towards Sayori's ideas or opinions could be like Sayori thinking like, come on, Sayori, stop being stupid. Like, she thinks that's what Monica wants to say when she corrects me, you know? It's like, that's how Sayori views it, but really Monica's just correcting her because she just wants to correct. Like, in reality, Monica's just correcting her because she wants to just help her out. But meanwhile, what's how Sayori's depression probably makes her feel like she's like, come on, Sayori, you dummy. Like, oh, I'm just a bother to her. Like, I'm probably annoying her. So yeah, I guess I could see that.
She would let me stay at the office so I could use it to sleep at night and avoid renting.
Aw. That's also nice Monica-ism.
I was very grateful for that. Money wasn't easy to come by during these trying times. Even though I was about to collapse, I still had to write a letter for Zero. You would want to hear all about the events of today. In the morning, I could go to the post office and drop off the letter. So I began my report. I couldn't help but let out a small giggle.
There you go. Oh my god. Oh, you could tell they made the black things on here or like a overlay or something of the game because it's covering the thing.
Yeah.
Things being covered by it. That's funny. Dearest,
Today's correspondent is dated Friday, the 1st of April. The last message received was dated Wednesday, the 27th of January. I formally inform you that I've seen my first corpse. Fortunately, I beat you to it. It would have been a shame if one of our kin had passed while I was away from home. Honestly, I thought I was going to be like we always imagined. An intricate case with millions of clues to follow. Bad guys tracked down. But reality struck me a little hard today, and apparently we don't get to investigate much in this investigation job. The victim in this case was a small frame female whose corpse was found floating in the river. Now, for my version of the story, I think she was murdered. She had her arm bones shattered, and the neck was twisted around. The face was all covered in old bruises, and that just couldn't be an accident. Despite what I saw and thought, Miss Monica came to the conclusion that it was a suicide, without further investigation. Can you believe that? But like I said, in reality, it all came down to time invested and money issues. You had other cases, and to her, this was open and shut case. No fun allowed. Hope things are progressing more smoothly with you, and I can't wait to hear from you again. I miss you so much. With love, Sayori. It's in our kin. Okay, so in this, I guess her and MC are dating. Or even married.
Yeah.
If our kin, we had children. We have children, apparently. Sayori, don't you get killed out there. No, kin could also mean friends, I thought, though, right? I don't know. I thought kin always meant, like, children.
Kin can just mean, like, people related to you, I think.
I'm pretty sure. I thought kin always meant. One's family and relations. Okay, so not
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
confirmed. Okay, so yeah, because at first I was like, I think it could just be okay. Just saying, like, luckily it wasn't any of our friends. It's funny. It's funny she says that. It's like it's fucking Natsuki. Good thing it wasn't any of our friends.
Good thing.
Poor Natsuki.
I always thought it was cute how we would treat them like official reports. We even figured out a format. It kept the constant letters entertaining. I neatly folded the letter into 4 squares, placing it into an envelope to send it the next morning. My synchronized fingers were on fire, writing down the report as fast as I could before Monica's arrival at the office. I never learned to do my backlog before it was too late. My darn laziness continued to chase me. Why, hello there, my coral lass. Working hard or hardly work? Yes! Well, you need to do it before I got here, you know. I'm an efficient worker, miss. I can see. She entered the office and placed her hat on the coat hanger. I began shaking my hands a bit, for my wrist and fingers are screaming at me. I watched as she got to the turntable, elegantly picking out a record and slowly placing on the platter of the record player. Her hands had gently reached for the needle and begun playing a smooth tune to accompany us for what seemed to be another uneventful evening. She returned to her seat and took out another one of her daily smokes. Want a snipe, Sayori? I'd rather not. Suit yourself. Any word on correspondence, Miss Monica? As if being asked to move a heavy boulder up a hill, Monica sighed loudly and deeply, making sure to remove the cigarette beforehand. I just got here, Sayori. I didn't have the time to check. Well, if you're tired, miss, I could check for you. Don't you dare! Her sudden response sent a shiver down my spine, elevating my heartbeat. Needless to say, I was caught off guard. Even though she hadn't been the gentlest soul, I'd never seen Monica be so aggressive before. It seems that you've forgotten that my personal mail was delivered here as well. I told you before that I didn't get any for you, and that surely remains to be the case. Do not bring up going through my stuff again. Sorry, miss. I thought... Clearly not enough. So much for being an investigator. Her words struck me deeply. I felt like a kid who didn't know how to behave, and I was being spoken to like one as well. My gaze found itself guided to the floor. I'm sorry, Sayori. It's the stress. I shouldn't have reacted that way. I brought my head up again. It's alright, miss. I understand. Atta girl. Right on cue. Hopefully we have a new case in our hands. It'll be a good opportunity to train you up, don't you think? With a smile and a quick wink, she turned to attend to the call. What just happened had me confused. A sudden whiplash of emotions, as if Monica had an entire other person residing within her.
Oh, wait! I know what's happening. I know what this is. This is Sayori's dream, right? So
Yeah.
this is taking place in the base game. And I think this is taking place in the moments when Monica was telling her those things about, like, how MC probably doesn't really like her and stuff. Like, or at least we don't know what she tells her, but it's implied that she says something about, like, Natsuki liking her or something. Him liking Natsuki or Yuri.
Yeah.
So Monica being randomly mean could be Sayori kind of channeling like Monica randomly saying very like harsh things to her. And being like, why would Monica say that, you know? Like, well, that's such a whiplash. I don't know. That's just a theory. Also, oh my god, what if that's why Natsuki's dead?
Oh my, and
She's
that's
like-
why he's married to M. She's married to MC.
She's like super jealous. She's like super jealous. So in her fucking little dream world, Natsuki's fucking dead. Oh my lord.
What have we done? What have we done?
But if she's going to take me onto another case, maybe it wasn't all that bad. Perhaps this time I could prove myself. As she finished her talk, she took a moment and looked at me. Well, it seems we've got a hot one in our hands. Really, miss? Yes, come on now. Grab your coat and I'll brief you while we walk. I don't have a coat. Oh. Well, shake a leg. Without saying anything further, she grabbed her hat and took off, and I wasn't far behind. This time, we walked for a while. The scenery was nothing like yesterday's. We passed through the residential area, which now showcased more and more empty, abandoned houses. We were heading towards the richest parts. I've been there only a couple of times. First, you see the houses get bigger and taller, further away from one another as you progress. So eventually, you can't even see the houses as they hide in the middle of acres upon acres of private lands. You find yourself following a seemingly endless fence, marking the edges that divide riches from rags. Unfortunately, the middle class was evaporating into poverty, thus highlighting the difference even further. So, here's the details provided by the initial police survey. A high-class woman was found dead inside her mansion's library.
Oh, Yuri's dead too.
Apparently, the husband is a very successful businessman, major shareholder of a metallurgic company. He's been out of the apple for a while now, supposedly making subsidy deals with politicians. So, someone knew that Big Fish was away and tried to get a piece of the riches? Beats me. I still need to see the scene, you know. Right, of course. You really need to stop assuming things, Sayori. I can't help it. This could be the big one. Right. Again, I had my noggin racing, thinking how this could have gone down. There's no way this time was going to be a boring case without mystery. We arrived at the place, greeted by an iron gate with sturdy brick pillars on each side. A couple of officers were waiting this time around. Already, the differences with yesterday's case were showing. Pleasant night, fellers.
Evening, dollface. Took your sweet time.
Give me a break. I'm here to do my job.
Hey, woo, relax. Say, how about we hit the speakeasy after this mess?
Maybe, if it wasn't illegal, you chump. You're a cop.
And?
Ugh, forget it.
So who's the muffin?
The man swiped me from top to bottom with his gaze. It amazed me how Monica keep her cool with all this. Goons as cops, with so little morals they may as well be mercenaries. Greetings, I'm the investigator's assistant. She's going to come along and take a look with me.
She coming after too?
Keep dreaming. Anyways, tell me, have you heard anything else besides the initial report?
Perhaps. Maybe a honey cooler will light up my...
Pally, you better keep your mouth shut if all you do is keep yapping garbage like that.
Jesus, alright lady, damn! I've heard that the butter and egg man went dizzy with a dame. Handmaid mentioned him and his women having huge arguments over the phone.
Good boy. Finally something worthwhile out of your mouth. With a smirk on his face, the man tipped his cap and let us through. We walked across the paved road past a fountain that led us to enormous wooden doors. This time, we had something to work with, it seemed. Already, we've heard some clues. This is exciting! As we approached the pompous entrance, the doors creaked open and a butler let us in. He led us straight to the library for us to take a look at the scene.
Oh, it is Yuri! Yuri, no!
Yuri, no.
Murder!
Oh, she was just stabbed.
But Monica, murder!
Murder. It's always murder.
Sayori, please. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyways, I've seen enough. Huh? How? Don't worry, I'll let you have your fill. Go on now, take a look. Right. I approached the body. A shocker to me, she was around our age. I concluded that she was either in it for the dough or her tastes were a bit more developed than most. But never mind all that. She wore a dress and a fancy arrangement of plumes as headwear. The cause of death was very clear. A vile, deep wound in the center of her chest all the way down to her heart. Her mouth was slightly parted. Strands of blood escaped from it. The body was as fresh as if it was just found. Even the blood was wet enough to smear what it touched. Eyes left wide open. I couldn't seem to find hints of struggle, unfortunately. Walking around the room, I decided to describe to Monica what I'd been observing. She already had a lit cigarette and was enjoying herself. Care for a fag? It might ease your mind a bit. I'll have to say no. So, obviously she died of blood loss. Oh, Sherlock, tell me more. I'll take that as a compliment. I can't seem to find the weapon, though, which is concerning. I'm going to make it easier for you. She killed herself out of anguish over her husband cheating on her. I don't know. I don't think we can... Oh, Christ, no. I felt a cracking noise coming from under my feet, beneath the rug. This was a lead. I uncovered the floor and found a bunch of crystal shards scattered, looking like they hid them in a rush. There's a sign of a struggle! But... Without paying attention to Monica, I began looking around the room. I could tell she was not happy. She began tapping her foot while smoking her cigarette. Searching through the shelves of books, I found an odd-looking case full of extravagant knives and ornate short swords. So, one of these could have been used for the deed. Right, but do you know what else this reveals? What? That she was also a nutcase. See? Case closed. No, not yet. It just doesn't fit. Sayori, listen. They had the time to clean the blade so thoroughly and put it back in place. Why didn't they bother to take care of the other loose ends, like the crystals on the floor? I couldn't just stand there and ponder. I had to gather evidence. I had to look for more clues. So I rushed out of the room. Sayori, where are you going? I rushed past her, going straight to the dining hall. I needed to know. I started going through all the cutlery cabinets, searching for what I was hoping to find. Have you lost your mind? Just let me do this. I am not. You did not hire me to be your assistant just to stand around and type up stupid reports. Now did you? She stood silent in all of my brazen, unusual act of rebellion. I returned to searching the multitude of cabinets until my eyes found exactly what I was looking for. A wooden knife holder with a missing blade. Aha! Look, miss! There is a missing blade. I knew there was something to this whole case.
By George, she cracked it.
We have to go interrogate the servants. You know, maybe one of the handmaidens. Oh, perhaps the butler. Or what if it was the policeman? Settle down, for God's sake. That missing blade means nothing. I told you, she committed suicide because she was being cheated on. The fact she had a knack for knives proves she was not a stable person. What? No! But she was a gold digger! Being cheated on would mean nothing to her! Now think, Sayori, since you seem to think you're smart. Wouldn't she be kicked out of here if the man decided to change women? I mean, maybe, but this discussion is over. We're heading back to the office. What the hell? This is outrageous! How can you say with so much confidence that it was suicide? Enough! No, I'm not going to just believe that she committed suicide even though It's not about what you believe. People kill themselves. It's a cruel world. Deal with it. Now shut your beak and follow me. You better write the report as I told you.
Okay, I'm definitely thinking this is like... I'm definitely thinking this is like during the time Monica was being mean to her, because I'm like, I have no other way to excuse like very out of character mean Monica.
Yeah. Other than it's a dream, I guess.
Yeah, that it's a dream. I mean, that's what I always said. As long as people give us some sort of excuse for the characters to be out of character, then fine. So it's saying that it's like, even if I guess this happened like before the literature club even started, then maybe you could still have the argument that, you know, it's like, because it's like, even if this happened before Monica was being mean to her, you could still have the argument of, okay, well, this is still a dream. So Monica being like very out of character could just be because, well, it's a dream. Sometimes dreams are just weird. So it's like, fine,
Yeah.
Whatever. It is a dream, you know? It's like, I guess that's the reasoning behind it, you know?
Yeah.
As long as it's not real Monica saying all this stuff and doing all these things, then it's fine. Sometimes dreams are just weird. So, because I know before I was like, well, the dream's supposed to represent something, but it's like, well, sometimes people act weirdly in dreams and they're supposed to represent other things. So, again, Monica being mean, you could interpret it as Sayori's negative thoughts, being like, this is what I deserve for Monica to tell me. Like, I deserve Monica, I deserve Monica to treat me like shit, maybe. Or you could interpret it as Sayori's dreams are just weird, and in the dream, Monica's like a very just mean fucking like detective. But again, both things are pretty good reasons for out of character, for the characters acting different.
Yeah.
Dejectedly, I followed her as she headed out of the mansion. My frustration was unbearable. Despite everything, I still felt like an idiot. I let my curiosity, my hunger for thrill get in the way, and in the end, I impeded the investigation. What first started off as anger and frustration at her began being turned inwards. I can't believe your recklessness. Had I known just how delusional you were. She kept finding new and interesting ways to verbally berate me on her way back to her office. I kept silent. I think I'd been shot down in such a way it was tearing me apart. As I reached the office, she had fallen silent as well. Tension in the air could have been cut with a knife. Exchanged looks across the office space. Apparently, Monica. Oh, I don't know. If someone looked at me across the office space like that, I'd be like, what the fuck? Quite the face.
I do something? Yeah.
Her eyebrows furrowed and her lips constantly parting and closing, seemingly mumbled to herself. And every time her eyes made contact, my head would fling away. Wait, now her face is like that. Maybe that face wasn't supposed to be there. As she took her hat and made her way to the exit, she looked back at what I could only assume was my distressed expression. Before I go, Sayori, I want to be clear. I'm not mad at you. I just want you to see the world for what it is and not for what you hoped it was. My face was already buried in paperwork. I'll leave you be for the night. Okay, miss. And so she turned around, heading to her apartment. Hot-headed as I was, I tried my best to relax a bit and recall everything that happened. Monica might be right, though. I might be looking at reality with too much innocence. How am I supposed to believe that 2 cases were suicide? Maybe the first girl. That case didn't have any strong leads to follow. But tonight's case, on the other hand, it doesn't make any sense. We didn't even interrogate the servants or any other suspect. I muttered to myself as I got up and saw the turntable lying there, gathering dust. Maybe I could roll some tunes to ease my mood. I carefully placed a random record from the pile. Also, as another case of Monica goes back to acting like herself.
Yeah.
But also as another thing, she says, I'm not mad, I just want to see the world for what it was. So I'm thinking that she's saying, I'm not mad at you, I just want you to see the world for what it is and not for what you hoped it was. I think that could, again, that backs up my theory of when she told her about, like, when she told her about who MC likes. Like, I think it was like, what she told her was mean, but she was just trying to tell her the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want you to basically, you have to accept the truth. You can't just, what you hope it is, you know? I don't know, that's still my theory. My theory could be wrong, but I don't know, we'll see. Carefully placed a random record from the pile. Now it was time to write my letter to Zero. Perhaps now I could finally get my frustrations out of my mind. My dear, today's correspondence is dated Saturday, the 2nd of April. Last message received was dated Wednesday, the 27th of January. I'm deeply sorry, but I don't have enough spirit to write this letter like I usually do. Today was a mess of emotions and events, turning around from exciting and intriguing to disheartening and disappointing. Today, Monica took me to my second case. That sounds like great news, right? And it really was for a good while. There was a high-class lady who had been murdered inside her mansion. We had early leads. It was looking to be like one of the most complicated murder. It was looking to be one of the complicated murder mysteries in the books we used to read. Needless to say, I was ecstatic. And Miss Monica even let me do my own investigating. There's like one problem I hate about this. Like, I think maybe it's like the tint, because this is Sayori's normal This is Sayori's normal font, I'm pretty sure. But it is so hard to see periods.
It's because it's really small now.
Yeah, like, I think, yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Font size is smaller.
Yeah, it's like the fonts. I think it's like Sayori's font was not made for sentences, like, really long, like, close sentences like these.
Yeah.
It's like, my god, those periods are so hard to see.
It had me hooked. The corpse had an enormous stab wound all the way to their heart. But there's no weapon in sight. So my mind was racing, and I started looking around for more clues until I finally found a missing knife in the kitchen. We obviously had to start asking the servants around, but guess what? Monica called it a suicide. Barely any effort put in the investigation or looking for clues. Just a declaration. I was about to lose my mind after that. Just imagine. It's times like this where I wish I had you by my side. You always knew how to make me feel better. Honestly, I need a hug and someone to tell me that I wasn't completely wrong for thinking the way I do. Sometimes, I wish we were kids again. You know, when we were never far apart for long. But now, never heard from you in a while. Never got your letters back. It feels like you left me. I hope you haven't. Please respond soon. I need to hear from you. As always, yours, Sayori.
Oh no, because he's been it's the thing. It's because he's been hanging with the other girl. So it's because like she feels ignored.
Bro, did he murder the two
No,
girls in
I
the
don't.
dream?
I don't think he did. I meant like it's supposed to maybe depict how like he was like she feels ignored by him.
Yeah.
Like I think it's supposed to depict that, like where she feels like she feels ignored. So it's like he's not responding to her letters.
Writing the last lines, I couldn't hold my tears. Like a small drizzle, a couple droplets reached the paper. I would rewrite it once again, but I was just too tired. I laid on the couch, crying for a bit until I dozed off. Monica was reading a paper while I wrote yesterday's case report. Without taking her eyes away from the paper, she put a platter on the player. As for my typing, I was nearly done. A couple more lines. It's finished, miss. Marvelous. Leave it here on the desk and I'll send it by the mail. So... Talking about mail, I was wondering... The answer is no. I didn't get any mail for you. Didn't even look at me to tell me that. What? You know what? This is bullshit, Monica. Where are my letters? It's been too long. Oh, darling. Let me guess. Are you waiting for that guy to reply? Yes! It's not like him to take this long to send a letter back. You should forget about him. Who knows? Maybe he already found some other broad. Her comment struck me like a hammer. What if she was right? What if he had found someone else and had simply forgotten about me? I refused to believe it. Zero would never... Look at you. All in shambles for some Joe. I'm not! Sure thing, dear. Monica, give me my... In just a moment. She turned to answer the call. Even though I was being rude and screaming at her, she wouldn't even react. She kept her cool and now was lighting a cigarette while speaking through the tube, like nothing happened. Alright, that was easy. Huh? Don't we have a new case? I understand if you don't want me to tag along. No, it's not that. Just that I don't even need to go to the scene. The police already went through it. What was it about? Well, someone reported a foul stench coming from an apartment in a residential building downtown. Police went through it and blah blah, told me it's a suicide, so I'm not bothering with this one. And you're just going to follow what those lazy brutes tell you? Why would they call you if they already knew the answer? I am not going to stand idle and file a case without even looking at the scene. Hey, relax, Sayori. Don't tell me to relax, Monica. Here, take a puff. It's gonna make you feel calmer. She held her cigarette up to me, half smoked. Out of spite, I snatched it from her claws, placed it on my mouth, and took a long breath. My lungs filled with the burning smoke, making me cough violently as I choked. Threw the rest of the lit cigarette on the floor. How the hell was that supposed to calm me down? That's it. I'm going to the scene, just like an investigator should. I'm going to prove you all wrong. She didn't even try to stop me as I grabbed a notepad and left. This time, I walked alone. Downtown was not too far away. Nerve of that woman to try and close a case without me taking a look. Outrageous. But I had this fire burning inside me. Determination to show myself and my worth. Despite everything, I was unstoppable. But before I thought about asking the passersby, I found an apartment building with 2 coppers guarding the door. Wait, they said a suicide and oh no.
Huh?
A suicide in a residential building. Huh. And wait, Monica said, and also Monica was like, maybe he's with some other broad, and she's like, no, he's not. He wouldn't. Oh, it's this is a depiction.
Oh no.
This is like Sayori's. This is like a fucking like weird like depiction of what happened with Act 1. Wherefore I thought about asking a passerby, I found an apartment building with 2 coppers guarding the door. Aces! If I had to bet, this might be the place. And if not, I could always ask nicely. I approached the officers and they turned to face me. Evening, kitten. Need some help? Hello, officers. I hope I'm not interrupting, but I believe there's an investigation going on here, right? Perhaps. Who's asking? Oh, I'm Inspector Sayori. I was called to survey the scene and write down a report. Ah, alright, lady. But you see, I've been here for a couple of hours now, with all that putrid smell coming out. How about a reward? Sorry, but... I stumbled on my words as I reconsidered how to properly handle the situation. Keep dreaming, officer! I stepped inside. Passing between the 2 policemen, I began smelling the... I suddenly felt a hand grabbing and groping my bottom. No! Ah! Whoa, don't get angry, dollface. It doesn't make you look pretty. Those filthy bastards! I boiled with rage. Oh, she's mad now. Watch out. I really wanted to slap the man's soul out of his body. But clenching my fist and grinding my teeth, I turned around, heading towards the scene. I really didn't need that at the moment. Why couldn't I handle them like Monica does? Their laughter faded as I moved inside the building. To keep the bitter thoughts away, I tried to focus on the case. The stench was really strong, so finding the door was not hard at all. I took out my notepad and looked at the doorknob. Taking a quick breath, I prepared myself. I'm ready. Determined, I opened the door. There it is! My initial analysis... What the hell? Is that... No! This doesn't make sense. This isn't possible. It can't be possible. It can't be. It can't be. It can't be. It can't be. It can't be.
Oh.
I suddenly wake up, soaked in sweat. That was... What was that? My hands are shaking. Monica. I'm supposed to do the thing for the festival with her. Aha! It does take place around this time. I knew it. It takes place around the time of the festival. So that means Monica already whispered to her, so she already probably told her. You know, like I said, I always theorize she said, like, you know, MC likes one of the other girls, because it wasn't like, because some people like to think that she said, oh, kill yourself or something, but I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Sayori would have, like, totally flipped out.
I always thought that she said, like, maybe he doesn't like you and stuff like that. Because, like,
it was something to imply that he liked the other girls more, because she says it right when you're about to kiss Natsuki, and she's like, maybe Monica was right. Maybe I should, and I think she told her, like, you should back off, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, you should, like, leave him alone. I think it was probably what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to do the thing for the festival with her. What was the thing again? The pamphlets. Maybe I can ask Zero to come help. No, wait. He's busy. He's busy spending the day with her.
They don't want to specify which route.
He'll probably have fun, right? More fun than with me. I guess it's better that way then. Better he enjoy himself than be saddled with me. This is awful. I cower under my sheets. After a while, hear a faint knock coming from my bedroom door. Is that... I don't want this. Not now.
Oh, this is when he goes to. Oh,
Yeah, this is when he
yeah.
comes in. He's like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
I want to be alone.
Yeah, this is when he goes before Natsuki or Yuri shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. Is there no music for the credits? Is it,
I guess not.
unless it glitched. Is it just silent credits?
Could be.
Okay then. But that was pretty good. Cheerleading. Cheerleading. That's pretty good. Oh, there you go. The quick credits. All right then. That was a really nice mod. I like that. That was cute.
That was fun. That was cool.
I
like
like
it.
I like the visual effects and everything of it. I like the little old timey filter. Thought that was really cool. Clearly a lot of work went into the coding to really make everything look like an old time little thing. I like the music. There's a really nice touch with the music at one point where I think it was the music was playing, I think, on the inside. And once they went outside, it was the same song, but an extra instrument was added. And I thought that was actually a really cool touch.
Yeah.
I liked all the sprites. I liked the fucking old-timey Sayori and Monica. They looked really cool. I liked the explanation for why Monica was slightly out of character. Like I said, because I feel like I need to specify this, because a lot of people always, because I know I've gotten this question before, whereas people ask me what do I look for when it comes to rating mods, and I don't really have a specific criteria that I look for. I'm not literally sitting here looking for specific things, but if I had to say something I'm a huge stickler for that I've noticed it is characterization. I am a huge stickler for characterization when it comes to these things, because for me personally, I cannot fully get into a DDLC story if the characters do not feel like the DDLC characters. Because, I mean, that's why I play these mods, to get more stories from these characters. So, I'm a very big stickler for characterization, I'd have to say. So I think but I'm fine with mods and stuff as long as they give an explanation as to why the characters act differently. Fleeting Feelings is a good example. That was a mod that it feels everyone's super off and different, but that's because, you're in an alternate world where all this shit happened, It's this is a what if. So of course, all of these things happening to them would make them like this. So it's for example, with this mod, this is a dream. So, of course, in Sayori's dream, Monica might be a little bit more vindictive and stuff, because maybe that's how Sayori either A, feels like she needs to be treated, or B, she kind of feels like Monica treats her like that, even if Monica doesn't. But again, she could also feel like Monica's a little rude to her, considering that Monica had to tell her the harsh truth about MC hanging out with the other girls. So she might be a little bit vindictive towards her because of that. So yeah, it's I'm fine with things like this. Or again, the other reason it could be, it's a dream. Sometimes dreams are just people act weird in dreams, in Natsuki's dreams, Yuri is probably some big old evil villain. And she's probably yeah, and she's all evil. And it's yeah, that's super out of character for Yuri, but since it's Natsuki's dream, it makes sense. So it's yeah, so it's Monica being out of character here, I feel works for the story. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. This is a nice little mod. If you'd like to download this for yourself, the link will be in the description below. And yeah, this has been Zero. Peace.